Hello, everyone. Welcome to GuildGab, episode 7.
Hello,
I'm AuroraPeachy,
and I'm Alcasaurus Rex.
and we are ready to talk about the rest of the feature patch that is coming on April
It's
15th, and it's just jam-packed full of stuff. We finally know just today, at least today as of recording this, we know what all of the announcements are. Everything has been revealed. So there are some awesome things coming. But just very quickly first, we wanted to say that we got a couple answers for the question that we asked at the end of the last episode, which was, what was your favorite Living Story update release of season 1? And we don't have really a winner because we didn't get any multiple answers, but Cypher D said his favorite, I apologize, he or she was, I can't tell from the name,
just
was
say it.
Cypher
Tis
D's
said.
favorite was the Queen's Jubilee and the Queen's Gauntlet, which I agree, I loved that one. It wasn't my favorite, but that was a lot of fun when it came out.
Yeah, it was.
That really introduced like a lot of champion farming and gold farming in one area. And
Yeah,
I
and
had
you could also do like the dive off of like the hawk head. I
that's
think if you could
right.
actually
There was a
go,
diving achievement of getting.
fall into your death. I liked how like that was kind of one of the first major moments of like trying to physically change something in the world. So that area was always like blocked off before, and then when those things came out, they like it was a big, oh, that's what that is, and then it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
that.
And that was
Like,
where the weeks before, they actually showed, they changed it into like a big tent over, like they were
yeah,
building this arena. And so beforehand, it didn't just magically appear. Like
yeah,
there was a tent put over it, like they were doing construction underneath, and you didn't know what was underneath, and everyone was wondering what it was. And then when it came out, it was this big reveal. Oh, this is what they were building, and that really helped to, keep the living world, keep that going. Like, this is really happening, and stuff is just not appearing out of nowhere. And
yeah. Like these things are all happening like real time,
right,
as it were. And then like
right.
when they're over, they're obviously over.
Hmm.
And
But the arena's still there, and when the Tower of Nightmares is
yeah,
over, it's the ruins of it is still there. It
ruins are
didn't just
still there.
disappear.
Yeah, that's the thing that I really liked about it because like I like think that they have fulfilled a lot of their things because with the Tower Nightmare, like Keswick Seals has been forever changed and like even a bunch of the NPCs in different areas will actually still comment
Hmm.
about the Tower Nightmare sequence. So like their dialogue has been changed to reflect that like yeah, remember when that tower was up? That thing was crazy. It's like messed everything up
Yeah,
permanently. I mean like it's gone and most of it's gone, but there's still
they're still
little
talking about it.
bits.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
like it
it's still
happened.
like
It wasn't something that just
yeah.
came and then disappeared,
Yeah,
and no one even
exactly.
remembers it. Like, it had lasting consequences in the world.
Yeah, which is why like I often don't get too much up in arms with a lot of people demanding the stuff to be permanent because that's the whole point I think of what Arena is trying to get with this living world thing is that like with the Queen's Jubilee, I mean those tents come up and then the Jubilee happens and then it's over and that everything that happened there is over like going back to play it again even though some people say well this is a video game we should be able to but that defeats the whole living world thing
Right.
that they're trying to emphasize. Like, why go back into that stuff? Because like the main thing that I would keep arguing is that all of these patches, these little patches, some people say the patches are too small. Well, or there's like, oh well, like if I missed it, I missed it. But yeah, it's so easy to do it when it comes out, and it's out for a good 2 weeks, and a lot of this stuff can be done in like a couple hours if you want to like do the
Yeah, a
whole
lot of it
thing.
can, yeah.
So like they're not exactly asking a lot of people to just like go in there and taste it when it's out, and then
Hmm.
you'll have tasted it and tried it, and then it moves on.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of sympathy for people moaning and crying for. I want to do the entire Living World season 1
Right, I
again.
want
When
all this content there
more.
forever,
Like,
and but that
and
means
it's
it didn't mean anything. If the Tower of Nightmares was always there, then and if we knew it was always going to be there, then what was the point of taking it down if it never would come down.
Well, yeah, because like I like think like a lot of people want some kind of like interface option where they can just like kind of like go back to the
Mm-hmm.
content whenever.
They
Like,
did that with the scrying pool in Guild Wars One. You could go back and play missions in your uh, in Guild Wars One's version of your personal story that you go through.
right, right.
You could go to in Eye of the North. You could go to the scrying pool and relive some of those missions that you did at any time. But it wasn't just an interface that you brought up. It was like you would physically play through it in the game, but in game it, like, the explanation for it was that this scrying pool allowed you to like relive your memories, and so
Right,
that's kind
so
of how it worked. It wasn't just an
right.
interface. And
Yeah,
in
well,
Guild Wars
okay,
2,
that
they've done it they've put some of the living story dungeons in the Fractals of the Mists.
yeah, exactly,
So
yeah.
that is a way to
So
replay it, and that in Guild Wars Two's way makes sense. Is the fractals are, fragments of time that you go and relive, and so it makes sense in that way as well.
yeah, it's because I mean like I can see where they're coming from and that they want to do that, but the interest the thing that I considered in my mind is that even though yes, like on the meta level, we all know this is a video game, we're playing it, but going back to my previous experiences with like WoW, for instance, like a lot of people can comment, and even the developers comment about how when you play through 1 to 90, there's a good chunk where you go back in time and then forward in time and then again forward in time because you're playing through previous expansions. So it can temporally make it really strange, and the developers say, yeah, well, we really want to work on that to make it more sense or give in-game reasons, but then people can say, well, it's just a game, those are expansions, but it does break the experience. So I can also see the argument that perhaps ArenaNet could say is that they don't want to have to deal a lot with that
Mm-hmm.
because they already have that with the personal story because you're technically going back in time when you're doing that.
Yeah.
But by like minimizing those kinds of things, especially if they don't fire out tons of expansions but do these seasons
Mm-hmm.
one after another, you really are getting a continuous story world going, and you don't have, for instance, in like WoW, like the Burning Crusade X-Pack is like here, and then Wrath of the Lich King is here, and then Cataclysm is here, and then Mist is here, and you're playing through it, but you're going back in time and going through all that stuff. So it can feel odd when you take a panda through the Burning Crusade content because you hadn't met them at that point. So
Oh,
it can
right. That
feel
makes sense.
that kind of strange kind of inconsistency that is there
Right.
physically. So by ArenaNet sticking to this idea of a living world,
Right.
they're avoiding that. And so like technically in the WoW, since you have all that content to play whenever the heck you want, yes, but it can give this really awkward, weird feeling to it. Because
Right.
like they like revamped the 1 to 60 zone when Cataclysm came out. So you got that time period 1 to 60. Then when you get 60 to 70, you go back to the Burning Crusade, which is like 2 expansions before this updated stuff. So that storyline is now suddenly 2 years behind. And then you
Mm-hmm.
go into the Lich King, which is still behind the 1 to 60 zone. And then when you finish that, you finally get to the zone. So it's got this weird
It would be
kind
like
of
if, like, how we experienced the final battle with Scarlet. Maybe not. I'm thinking of like the hologram and Lion's Arch being destroyed. A big thing was the Tengu wall being there. The Tengu didn't come out and help us defend Lion's Arch. They were not a part of it. So if someday they release Tengu as a race and you could go back and do the Battle of Lion's Arch with a bunch of Tengu running around, then it wouldn't make any
yeah.
sense, because then,
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
right,
That's
if they did
what's
that, then
going
it
on.
wouldn't make sense, because no, we know that if you got close to the Tengu wall during the battle, they shot at you,
Weren't
because they
there? Yeah,
didn't they obviously weren't there, and they were very clear that they were not going to come help us. So why would we be able to replay that content with a bunch of Tengu running around?
yeah. Because like
Makes
I mean,
sense.
yeah, because like on the one hand, perhaps people say, well, it is a video game, but then yeah, but there is a thing called immersion and feel, and when you
Yeah.
are playing. Like, because like I mean, it is really weird because when you do the Pandaren starting zone, it's like in Mista Pandaria, so it's in that storyline. when you leave your starting zone as the Pandaren, you suddenly go back in time to the 1 to 60 Cataclysm zones, where nobody had met the Pandaren yet. So it's and then again, as you're going through, you keep going back in time and then forward in time and then back and it can just like yes, everyone knows it's a video game, but still you're still
Right.
seeing this giant panda running around fighting the Lich King, and it's like that is kind of immersion breaking. So yeah, so I mean
That's funny
yeah,
because I heard someone say this is breaking my immersion on April Fool's Day when the bobbleheads were running around and they were going, "This is totally
yeah,
breaking my immersion." I'm like, "It's a day. Calm
yes.
down. It's a joke for one day." What do you think
That was
about?
weird, man. Those bobbleheads, especially on Char. Oh my
Oh my
god,
god, they looked so funny on the jar.
Char. Because like the zone that was playing my Lobby Hunter. Like everything had a giant head. So, like even like the cattle and everything, and like it was all so
I'm kind
bizarre.
of
It's
disappointed that I wasn't able. I didn't get the opportunity uh, to play the Shatterer or to Quaddle or any of those world bosses where
oh, they had giant
they
heads
said
too.
that's what I heard. I heard like
Oh
the
wow.
Shatterer had a giant head and Tequaddle had a giant bobblehead.
Oh my god.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there's screenshots of it out there, but I really wanted to see the Shatterer for myself and I didn't get a chance. But people said it
Uh,
was really funny. Nothing is
yeah.
creepier than the Quaggins, though.
Yeah.
Quaggin bobblehead was a little scary.
That was a good that was a very good April Fool's joke. Blizzard, not good April Fool's joke, which we don't necessarily need to get into here, but they did not do a good, tasteful April Fool's joke. Oh my.
I saw a lot of good ones and a lot of ones. I heard about a lot of stuff that people had to actually like apologize for, like game companies making fun of other game companies and stuff. And I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. But
Yeah, there's
what do you think about them not bringing back Super Adventure Box for April 1st? Because that
oh
was
right, that's been
where
like
Super Adventure Box
tradition.
came from. It was their very
Right.
first April Fool's joke.
Oh right.
Best April Fool's joke ever, by the way.
Well, I guess because like they're like the Living World season is over right now, so we're in this weird lull. So I guess from Arena's Net, because they like making all the actual game stuff have some kind of actual game world reason for being there.
hmm
I think they would feel a bit awkward to just throw in the adventure box when the Living Story season isn't going, because before the Living Story season was going,
That's true.
when
That's true. I didn't think about it that way. Is that it technically
had it.
was a Living World update?
Yeah,
Technically.
so
See, I think it would have been perfect though for this lull in between. Like unless, like you said, they wanted to keep it as listed as a Living World update. But I just think it would have been a perfect these 2 weeks here when there's nothing going on, you know, and it didn't have to be anything. Now, see, here's the thing though. It was released twice in season 1, and each time there was a new world. Like April 1st was
yeah,
World 1, and then the Back to School release was World 2. They could open it up for 2 weeks, April 1st every year, but just not have a new world. Moto could just say, I need some further testing, so go jump in, and there doesn't have to be a new world. I think it would have been really fun for people to just be able to run around in there for 2 weeks.
I think yeah, I think that they're like not making it specifically for like a certain date for
hmm
when they
Yeah,
release it. Um,
that was.
although
Go ahead.
oh, I was going to quickly say that I do think that the Super Adventure Box, I can see how they may want, oh no, we'll just do it like once in a while. I really do think it would benefit the game tremendously if they make that permanent. If they say like Moto's like, okay, I'm going to open up shop for good now. You guys can
hmm
come by whenever you want. And then he can just add new stuff and say like, hey guys, I've added
There's
a
a
new
new world.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to actually keep it going throughout the entire year, I think would benefit and make people very happy, because then they'd be like, oh, I could go to Super Adventure Box anytime I wanted. It's like, yeah, and because it's kind of like
Right.
a store, so then
It
people could just go
By
there like.
not being around all the time, though, it does make it more special.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there is that too. I just feel like it could help satiate the legions of people screaming for permanent content. We say there's no permanent content, so maybe that might be helpful. I never really got into Adventure Box.
I actually didn't either. I
I like love the concept and idea of
I had
it.
a really hard time with it.
Mm,
I played it for hours and hours, both by myself and with groups. Pugs, I will admit I pugged Super Adventure Box, but I never made it past like World 1, 2. Like it frustrated me so bad. It wasn't necessarily that it was hard or anything, but I don't know, something about it just frustrated me. Like I don't know if it was getting around or the combination of the graphics and the music. I like it. I want to put that disclaimer in there, is that I like
yeah.
Super Adventure Box, and I love that everybody loves it, and I think it's great. But me personally playing it, I get so frustrated. And so, like, when I say, oh, I wish they would have done Super Adventure Box, that's more for everyone else's sake, and that I think that everyone else
Yeah.
would have enjoyed it. And I probably wouldn't have even played it. But I do like the weapons. I'm very tempted the next time it comes around to get through it so that I can get some of those Super Adventure Box weapons, because I see a lot of people out in the world with them, and I really like them a lot. And I wish
Yeah,
that I would have gotten some of them.
I would like love to see what kind of new stuff Arena in it could like bring out, like stuff like the Adventure Box, but just like interesting new things. Like the stuff the seasons or sorry holiday type events that I'm most looking forward to.
Love those.
Definitely like the Zephyrite thing, because if they do keep the Zephyrite every year, it would be really cool and fun to see what kind of things they could do, just especially with the legacy of Glint that they have.
Yeah.
I really want them to explore that more.
I think they'll
But
bring that back as part of a Living World update when they have more story to
Yeah.
reveal. Like you said, something about Glint, or even though Glint's dead. But maybe a spoiler?
Well, their crystals come from her body. That's where they get their power. So they're like they see themselves as the continuing the legacy of the Dwarven Brotherhood of the Dragon. I think it was called something like that.
Yeah.
I forget the actual name.
The
of,
name is escaping
that
me as
dwarven.
well. But
I really like- But
one
yeah,
thing about that, I did not expect to be talking about season 1 so much again. But something okay, the Zephyr Sanctum, when it first came around, it was explained very clearly that these are people who very rarely land. They only land when they need supplies and when they want to trade. And this Zephyr Sanctum has never been seen before because it's so rare to ever see it. People have lived their entire lives and never seen this.
Yep.
Could they bring it back every year then? And still keep that lore? Like, unless there's a reason that they have to come back so soon? Like, if it's so rare, like, that makes me think once every 100 years it lands or something. Is it going to be a yearly thing? Now, I hope it's a yearly thing because I love it so much. But does that go with the lore? Maybe there's going to have to be some story involved as to why they have to come down and mingle with us land folk.
Yeah. Well, because they were
Curious.
I definitely don't think they'd like only land like every 100 years.
Or at least not in the same place. I
I
mean,
mean,
they
like-
go all over the world.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
I mean, like that would be cool if they went to like different areas
Yeah.
and maybe came by at different times.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just gonna quickly say that I'm really looking forward to what they do at the Halloween events, because I think that's honestly my favorite season in the Guild Wars 2 annual thing with the events they do for stuff that they keep doing
Yeah.
over and over again. Halloween stuff, that's my favorite. Because I really love what they do with that as far as and I also just love Halloween and Samhain as we pagans call it. So it's just one of my favorite times of year, and my inner goth is just utterly.
I wonder if they're going to have introduce even more lore, because like last year was a huge
Yeah.
surprise with introducing all this new lore having to do with Halloween. So I wonder
Oh,
if they're gonna do the same thing this year, because that was like major. That was a big update to Halloween last year, and so I
yeah.
wonder if they're gonna do something equally as big, or if it's just gonna kind of be the same story of Bloody Prince Cedric. I don't know.
I
See.
think it'll be different because like his like story has now been kind of done. Like he came out and then he got put back in his box, and they could do something totally different, which I really can't wait to see.
I
I
really think
really
it would
they
be
do something different.
hilarious. That is another thing is we're going to have to wait and see how the holidays are going to be implemented now that Lion's Arch is destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. Which I can't wait.
I still think it would be hilarious if Mad King Thorn came up through the lion statue and just said, "I am here," and then nobody's around, and
Oh,
he's
it's
like,
destroyed.
"Where is everybody?"
That'll be
I think that
great.
would just be the best thing ever.
Ah! What? Oh. Uh. I
We,
like I would like love it so much if they actually made the seasonal events happen in the major cities,
yeah,
like just like choosing one per year to hold the different ones. That
that
would
would
be
be great.
so cool,
That
especially
would be
like
great.
Black
Winter's Day and
Citadel.
Divinity's Reach. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
Like if
And
the Black
Halloween in
Citadel
the Black
did
Citadel,
Halloween,
that would kick
that
ass.
would be so
That would
awesome. Like,
really kick ass.
that would be badass.
Um,
Yeah, there's so much fun stuff they can do with this structure they've got going.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. I wanted to just quickly mention that the other answer we got to their favorite living story in the comments last week was Ink the Dink said hi Inks. He said that his favorite was the worm, as they're calling it now, the evolved jungle worm, and the Tower of Nightmares was his favorite.
I would
Um,
agree
and you
with that.
definitely agree with the Tower of Nightmares. I know that's one of your favorite. And we did get, while we're on the subject of living story, and we will move on to the feature patch right after this. We did get one question. Silent Knights asked us, do you think that Marjorie's sister will take us to Brisbane Wildlands and we will finally venture into a new area? For instance, the Maguuma jungle should start just west of it. This is
Yes.
true. This is very true. I think that, I mean, Belinda very, very plainly stated that she is going off to Brisbane, and I mean, I think that would just be perfect to tie in the beginning of season 2 is that she goes there and finds out, finds some trace of Mordremoth, or
Yeah.
finds what, I don't know, because we don't know what state it is in right now. I believe there actually is if not in a surrogate, a natural portal
Yeah.
into the next area, but we can't access it. So and I don't know if we ever got an explanation as to why we can't go into the Maguuma jungle. Again, this bothers me because it was very open in Guild Wars 1. And
It
in Guild Wars 2, it's completely closed off to us. And that always
it sounds like
made me curious.
Arena definitely has plans for the Maguuma jungle because they did that.
Oh yeah.
Because as you're saying that it was open in Guild Wars 1, and because it's so obviously known to Guild Wars 1 players, and it does feel like, and especially now that we know that Maldremoth is coming, it
Yeah.
does feel like they've been kind of wanting it kind of like locked away and thinking, you know what, guys, let's just kind of save this for potentially something that we may decide. And
Yeah.
with now that Maldremoth, I think that's definitely a big zone, which would be cool. And yeah, Marjorie's sister, I thought it was a fun, clever thing to throw her in there because she couldn't be any more of like a Segway if she had like giant Segway letters and actually like drove in on a little Segway and like, hello, I am going to bring us to season 2. Follow me.
Yeah, I think
Which
so.
would have been
For
brilliant
sure.
if she actually came in on a Segway. Hello.
And then everybody would go, "Mount! I want that mount!"
Yeah, exactly. Go towards 2 Segway mounts. That'd be great. Wouldn't that just be awesome? Like seeing like a Charr on a Segway, this tiny little Segway. Hello, giant kitty on a Segway. Like Norn and like everyone. It'd be great. That would be. That is a kind of like or April Fool's joke or something that Arena should do is like
Oh my god.
make a Siren Tech Segways for like everybody to just be driving around on.
I was gonna say
That would be
announce
awesome.
or actually make mounts. Everybody gets mounts for a day. You log in and your character is just like
Yeah.
on a little horse.
Just ha-
And everyone
has a
goes,
little
"Oh my
Segway.
god!" And the next day it's gone, and everyone
Pony.
cries.
Yeah. and it's
Everybody
gone.
is on rainbow ponies.
That would be brilliant. And then we could say that the Charr ate theirs the next day. It's like, yeah. They got hungry and now they're out in the middle of nowhere. What do you expect? Look at these claws. Look at these fangs. Not gonna eat grass. Actually, this is really funny because they're in one of the just casual conversations in the Black Citadel. Like one of them, it's in the Black Citadel or in one of the accompanying zones or something. They're like they're talking about food between this girl and this guy, Charr, and like she like asks them like um, do you want any vegetables? And he just asks why. Like just says why. Like
There's
why
some
would I eat
great
vegetables?
conversations in Ascalon about the whole area where I forget the area's name right now, but where they're talking about Meattoberfest. There's like
Yeah,
that
it's my
little
favorite
village,
place.
and like all the NPCs around it, they're all like talking about Meattoberfest and who's gonna cook the meat, and there's that chef that just sings about meat, singing about meat.
That place makes me so hungry. It like always makes me like, oh, okay, I gotta go get some chicken or something. This is like after, it makes me so and that would be. I really want that to be like a actual like annual holiday event. Is make Meattoberfest an actual holiday. I'd love that. Like
the
having
Black
like like
Citadel's
Charr and like
holiday Meattoberfest. They've
have
been
like the Charr
preparing
and
for
like
it for over a year now. Come on, let's eat some
Yeah.
meat.
exactly, and they could wear like Charr inspired like lederhosen, and like have like giant kegs of beer and Meattoberfest spiced with rum and yeah.
That's
I want
that's fun.
Renanette, give me Meattoberfest.
We want
Everybody-
Meattoberfest. Hashtag Meattoberfest. New
Oh, that'd
thing.
be brilliant. That would seriously be so much fun. You could like get like skins that are like a giant like flank or something.
There's gonna be new weapons, yeah, that are all like meat, like
Meat-inspired.
the hammer is like a giant leg, and like a giant T-bone steak for a shield.
And like there's like a giant fork for a spear or something. And, like a knife for or like a spoon for a sword or something.
That would be the
Or
best.
for an axe or mace, you just have a spoon. Charr like spoon and stuff. Oh God, come
You have
on!
rib
Rhea.
bones as bows.
Yeah.
Okay, this needs to happen.
Yes. You see, it's totally making me hungry. Yeah. After
Well-
this podcast, I'm making meat. Gotta make some meat after.
All right, well,
Uh,
let's there's a segue. Let's actually move on to because we are almost half an hour in here. Let's start talking about the feature patch. We have everything else revealed for us, and the first thing that we need to talk about, which is personally the most exciting, is which has already been talked about a lot, but we haven't discussed it together. The wardrobe and dye system,
Yes. I can't wait.
which
Oh,
is
man.
going to be awesome.
Mm.
The only thing that I don't know why this just came to me, don't want to be a downer, but the only thing I see as this being when it actually comes out, I think people don't realize is that, changing your wardrobe is still going to cost transmutation stones. There's going to
Yeah.
be a cost involved. It's not just you get to change your armor whenever you want. I mean, you can play with it whenever you want. You can make your new look, but if you actually want to apply the new look, you're going to have to use these transmutation charges.
Yeah.
So I mean, but But that's just how the game is now, and they
Yeah,
make
this is
money on
kinda
that. So you
exactly.
can't
It's just
expect
how
them
it
to just
works.
take that out of the game. And you do get to
Yeah.
use your transmutation stones that you've collected and turn them into charges. So
Yeah.
and like
And
I've
of
got
course, like,
tons of regular
sorry.
transmutation stones.
I don't got tons, but I definitely got some, and we'll probably be collecting more. And plus, like, and then of course, like the major feature aspect of it is that all of your gear doesn't get destroyed. So, no, like as soon as you get something, armor or weapon, it's in your wardrobe forever. So
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about that, which is a big improvement. So,
You do
once
have
you
to you
think,
do have to do something. It's not just if you pick up an item, it's in your wardrobe.
oh,
You have to either equip it, you have to salvage it, or you can just like right click it and say add to wardrobe, which is
right,
kind of the equivalent as equipping it, because then I believe it makes it account bound.
right.
And so then you can't just go and sell it. Otherwise, you would have people just, someone would get an exotic and then you could just trade it to all your friends and everybody gets the skin. So you have to, it's not just by picking it up, you have to actually like apply it to your wardrobe somehow. But that's very easy to do.
Oh yeah, and just like having now this wardrobe feature to have all of the stuff you've gotten is pretty big, so that you
That
can
is
no longer worry about,
going to
destroying
your
it.
bank
Good.
and being able to see all, just like if you go to PvP and you have the PvP locker and you can see like the blank spaces of all your skins, kind of like mini pets. Like if you go in your mini pets and you can see everything even if you don't have them.
Yeah,
Being able to go into the wardrobe in the bank and seeing all the skins in the game is like, wow, that's going to be
pretty
so
awesome.
cool. And it's going to just be, oh my gosh, going through the game and collecting all of these skins. I think that's just going to be so fun. I think that's going to give people right there is going to give people so much to do because people are going to want to collect them
Yeah,
all. Got to catch them
and
all.
and like the like dye system, like making that like that little improvement,
Ugh,
because dyeing is so much freaking beep beep fun. It's like having all the dyes you've collected now
all the dyes
all
on
at
all
your
your characters is
fingertips.
so awesome.
Ah, it's so great. And yeah, because that's a really great point because like with this game especially, these kind of transmuting systems of making your gear look however you want, and it's a big part now of MMORPGs, I think, is that people really love it. People love, like most people who don't think so, have this inner fashionista that suddenly they're like, ooh, I can do so
It
many
lets you
things with
play
my
dress
gear.
up.
Yeah, and it just like it like motivates everybody for everything. And for Guild Wars 2, this is like a big part of it because it doesn't have like the vertical progression of like getting like tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of like raid tier armor
Mm.
stats. Instead, they want you to just have lots of cosmetic
Yeah.
variety. I mean, this is perfect for Guild Wars 2. This is really good, especially the die system with the wardrobe system makes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we were talking a little bit about what the end game of Guild Wars 2 is, I mean, this is it's a fun, good end game because you can just like
It is
now
most
look,
certainly something to do.
yeah, and also like one of the things that I loved about the feature patch, finding out that I thought was a really amazing kind of throwing a bone to people was that we don't have to pay for repair costs anymore.
Yeah. That's nice.
Um,
That's a
because
really nice quality of life
when
thing.
when I was trying out the Tower of Nightmare runs in the beginning, because I really sucked at it, and my characters weren't terribly high, I kept dying a lot, like a lot, and I didn't have tons of money, but because I kept dying a lot, I had to constantly repair, and the like 3 gold that I was so excited to have saved up quickly went down to
Mm.
like 40 silver. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
ah! And I like still hadn't even gone through the whole stupid thing. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So it's like, so the stupid repair costs add up. So like having it like no more, that's just like, wow, man. I mean,
Yeah.
like any RPG MMO thing that I know that they always charge you for the repair costs, and it's always annoying because you always have to repair your armor, and sometimes it can get broken, destroyed really easily. So having no costs for that, that's wow, man, that
Yeah.
is.
I like how they put it too. They said that you're already getting quote unquote penalized or charged by going somewhere and finding an armor repairer and taking that time to do that. And they said
Right.
that's charge enough, is taking your time out and going and getting your armor repaired. You know, you don't need a silver cost on top of that. So that was really nice of them to take that out.
They're pretty good on throwing bones to players, I gotta say.
Yes. Yes,
There's
they
like
are.
certain games that don't always enough. So I'm really impressed that ArenaNet does this on a regular basis. Of just like doesn't cost anything. We'll make them all countdown. Guys want legendary for any of your characters? Sure.
I'm someone who's I'm the only problem with being any character being able to have the skin of your legendary is that it kind of I don't want to say it devalues legendaries, because every time I think, well, everybody and their mom is going to be running around with a legendary weapon, and they're going to be everywhere, so it's going to be less special to have one. But at the same time, that's coming from someone who doesn't have one. If and when I ever get one, I will say
Yeah,
when I get one, I am going to be thrilled to be able to put it on all my characters. And that also
I would be.
makes
Yeah.
me want to go and get more. Like I love Bifrost, but the staff, but I never wanted to actually work towards getting it because I would have no idea what character I would want to put it on. Now,
Mm.
if I could have it on all of my characters, now I want to go get Bifrost. So I can see how
Yeah.
that changes. As you know, I say, "Oh, that's stupid. You shouldn't be able to do that. Legendaries are special." But that's coming from someone who doesn't have one. As soon as I get one, I'm gonna be like, "This is
Yeah.
awesome! All my characters get Bifrost. All my characters get Sunrise."
And I totally think that you should be able to do that because anyone that moans about this is like, I mean, you are the same person no matter what character you're playing. Like that's your
That
account.
that
That's
yeah, it goes back
you
to what you
don't.
were saying about, this is my account, this is my stuff, so I should be able to use it on all my characters.
Yeah, and also just like yourself, or like even more so, if I could ever get a freaking legendary, it's bloody hard, like to actually do every single map filling world of it, like all the little
World
points you'd have to get.
exploration. You
Yeah,
know
like
what?
that's not easy for me personally. I find because there's just so much, and sometimes it's
There
really hard
is.
to get to these things.
You know what? It
So
was a lot of work, but that when I was doing my first map completion, that was a lot of fun because you
yeah,
got to go places that you never even little nooks and crannies that you never even realized existed. You had to explore the world, and it was something solid to work towards. Like you were like now when I'm bored, like I go champ farming, especially because champion bags are going to drop less gold after the 15th. So I've been doing a lot more champion farming in Frostgorge,
yeah.
and like that's something to do, but I don't feel like I'm working towards anything. Yes, I'm making gold, I'm making money, which is working towards something. Usually it's getting the damn precursor. But
Yeah.
but the map completion, that is something with an end goal. It's something to work towards. You have a constant progress of, what percentage you're done with. And that's why I found it fun, because there was an end point and it was working towards something. And when I finally got it, and I still remember my very last Vista. It was a Vista that I got to complete it to get 100%, and it was in World versus World, because of course I saved that for last because that was annoying.
Hmm.
But when I got that last Vista, it was like the greatest feeling, because you get the big,
Uh,
map. The world map pops up, and the big shiny, shininess, and the gold star you get next
wow.
to your name, and so it was like it was a feeling of accomplishment when I got it
Yeah, I
done.
mean, I think that's one of the really good things this game has done well is making exploration A lead to something and B give you a reward because it really
Hmm.
says, if you want some rewards and if you actually go and explore all of these zones, and there's a lot of zones. I still haven't even seen all the zones yet because there is that many.
Yeah.
Um, and there's just so many points of interest and so many things in each one of these big things. It really does make you do all that, and you can also keep thinking in the back of your mind that this will lead to the great big legendary thing, but
Right.
it still will take a lot of time.
Yes. Yes. Took a lot of time.
And for these people, I don't know who they are, but these people like who go from 1 to 80 in 3 days. I heard one guy say they did that like this is
Wow.
like a month after the game released, and he's like, yeah, so now I'm burnt out, and this is like back in like I guess February of season 1 or something. He's like complaining about it in like February or March, and he's like, I like burnt through it in like a week or 3 days, and I'm like still haven't gotten past level 20 because I keep making new characters, and I'm like, what? Why would you
That's how
do
some.
that?
If that's, I say, my opinion is that's fine if that's how you want to play, because that is how some people have fun. Is they see how fast they can level, and that's fine. But if you do that, you have no right to complain. Oh, now I'm bored. This game's stupid. You're the
I
one
just
that
like,
rushed through it.
yeah,
My
and like
greatest experience in this game was my very first level 1 to 80, and just like going around and looking at the world and discovering everything, and it was great because I took my time.
and like I just keep wondering about the physical aspect of that. I mean, physically doing that, I'm just thinking, like, how much carpal tunnel did you have, and like, were your eyes dead? Like, what size of headache did you have of having to do that much in 3 days?
But then it depends on
I don't know
how we got
how
there, because
humans
you can level
do
1 to
it.
80 by crafting. I mean, I've heard of
Okay, I
people who
guess.
have done that, who have just, they leveled someone just 1 to 80 by crafting. That's gotta be hell of expensive, but you can
I,
do it.
yeah, I guess because I was just like thinking of them like actually going to each zone appropriate for the levels. There was
Yeah, there's a ton of ways to
whatever.
do it. I mean, doing dynamic events, that's on, because I have 10 characters, and and a lot of things I concentrate on are leveling them up, and like I go on my word gone. My routine lately has been, I will go on my highest level character who's not 80, and that character will do the dailies. And that gives them a lot of experience. So that's a way, because now my goal is leveling up all my alts. And so that's, and then when I'm done with that, or if I don't want to do that, sometimes I'll just run around the maps. I'll just run around clearing maps. Not even like, if I come across a vista, I'll get it. If I come across a skill point, I'll do it. But simply by exploring and revealing the map, you get tons of experience.
Hmm.
So I'll just run around a whole zone and I'll gain a couple levels just by running around. And I think that's fun. And it's so
Yeah, I
cool
mean,
to see your
yeah,
little bar fill up just by running around and exploring new areas. And you get the little, no, you have discovered this area. And it's fun.
yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. I've also like
What is
just
your highest level character right now?
there. It's got to be my elementalist. He's in the 50s, I think. So he's. I think I'm getting close. I think he's 56 or 57.
Is that
I'm in
Charr? Is that a Charr? Or you have characters other
yeah.
than Charr, huh? Don't you?
I've got my one little Asura guardian, and I was actually even contemplating that I was kind of getting a little tired of Char, and that I'm kind of moving towards Asura.
No.
I know, it sounds crazy.
No. This is
But
breaking news.
but it's just like, well, I mean, once like the Tengu come out, it's like everybody's gonna get like Godfather killed off, and I'm just gonna make like five Tengu characters because I love them.
That's a curious question I've always wondered, is that when they finally do release a new race, I wonder if it's not part of like a boxed expansion that you pay for the expansion. I wonder if they'll give everybody a blank character slot. If it's part of an expansion that you pay for, like pay $50 for this expansion or whatever, then obviously you'll get new character slots because that's how they've always done it. But if it's not, if it's part of like a Living World update, I wonder if they're going to give everybody a new character slot to create this new race.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like they would.
I would that'd be pretty shitty if they did if they didn't. But then you could say, oh, you know, go to the gem store, buy a $10 character slot, and that's like paying for an expansion, you know, since we're not making you pay for an expansion, you know, go and buy a character slot.
I just wish they'd let us know. I mean, I just want to know if the Tengu are coming. It's driving me nuts because, like, the Tengu are on here, and then all the other races, even Charr, are like way down here. So it's kind of like I want to play as the Tengu. It's like I don't even want to play as the other races because I'm just wanting to play as these cool bird dudes, and it's like,
well, don't not enjoy what you have because you're looking towards the future.
I know, but it's like
that's just a life lesson right there.
I just wish they were birdies. Yeah. But yeah, I've like been finding myself kind of drawn to the Asura more and more just because no, they're pretty adorable. But I mean, like I really do like love the Charr, but they can sometimes be a bit too much militaristic, and I'm really not into the whole military structure, you know, of like obedience and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's like plenty of Charr that have like obviously left legions and gone into other things, but I would definitely be one of those Charr because I'm not big on the whole rank and file thing. But I've like found I think for sure like the class that I love the most. Like I was saying, my elementalist is the tallest. I still like them, but I think definitely my number one class, which I may just spend all my time creating, is the ranger because I really like the pet classes because I really love doing solo stuff. I'm not into doing big stuff. I'm not into doing Zerg content. I'm not into doing bosses like Tequatl and stuff. I really like just being on my own and self-sufficient that way. And yeah, these pet classes just help so much. It's just it makes it so much easier because like your pet, you know, distracts them so much, and then you just like fire from far away or just add it in. And I love the fact that rangers can fight with like close range swords, and they have the coolest greatsword animations, and also with like the longbows. So yeah, I think rangers are definitely my thing, and I only wish that we had more pets that we could tame because there's a really limited amount of pets I find that we can tame, but I like them. I like the birdies that you can tame.
Yeah, I like the snow owl.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that guy. I can't wait to get that one because I love owls so much. Have you ever flown owls before, like actual raptor flying? In like real life? I mean, yeah.
No.
When they put on a glove and they come to you. It's amazing. There's I did it in England, and like we've got like great horned owls, which are like a fairly large one. They're like about yay big, right? But the eagle owl is the biggest, physically biggest owl. They look like great horned owls, but a lot cooler, and they are bigger. They are bigger. Their hands are like these massive things that can exert 500 pounds of pressure per square inch, and they're the coolest freaking things in the world because like when you're flying them, they fly slowly, and they often fly close to the ground, and they're like literally like this, like their body is like that in diameter with like really wide short wings, and so like they're like over here, and like the guy tells you like puts the meat on, and they fly to you, and they just go, and because they're silent flyers, it's just like almost slow motion, and suddenly you got this like cat-sized bird on your hand with these like claws that are like bigger than yours with these giant talons, and it's just like you can feel the strength in this beautiful guy. He's got these like giant eyes, and he's like bigger than your household cat, and it's like this is so awesome. Yeah,
I am the bird master.
Pretty much, yeah. That's
and I will name him Tengu.
It's pretty much what it feels like. And you know, just like one last thing was just that they also had like barn owls, which are like of course like much smaller. But there's this baby barn owl, like teenage barn owl they had, and it was the cutest thing because like owls aren't the smartest of birds, even though they look like they're the smart. They aren't the smartest, but by any means, they're kind of dumb, and this like little barn owl, he like started to stamp his feet because he was like getting like kind of like angry. He started to stamp his feet, going. And he started like squawking, and they like gave him food, and as he's eating, he's still squawking. So he's going like, and he's. I've never seen an owl stamp their feet. But he just like they stretch them out and they just stamp like this and like angry, like going like. It's just, okay, that's just my owl along here.
That was your owl story.
I just had to go into that. Yeah.
Can't say I've ever done that.
You should. It's awesome. They probably have something like it out in your state too. So you should give it a go.
Oh yeah, I'm
really,
sure they do. I've just never been. I don't know. I've never looked into that.
It's really awesome. You guys should go out for it, man. It's like, especially, it'll make you feel like you're like wishing that you're in like medieval clothes and on a horse, because it just makes you feel. It's such a thrill to have like a bird of prey land on your hand like that. You just brilliant, man.
I've seen people do cosplay photo shoots like with wild animals, and wow.
Oh, wicked! Yeah, it's
everything from birds to horses to like white tigers and all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there probably would be. Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda ones where they use a real horse as a Pona, and they're like on the Pona. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh,
that's so cool.
Yeah. So that was our animal diversion.
Animal diversion.
Although it did have relevance because it was talking about the Rangers. So yeah.
That's true. That's true.
For anyone wondering about these tangents, you see, they all connect eventually.
That's true. Because I said we like the owl. I think there's two owls. I think there's a brown one and there's a white one.
Yeah, there's like definitely a snowy one, which I think is by Owl's Shrine is destroyed. So
yeah,
I think you have
there's some pets that you can only get in the Hall of Monuments if you got enough points in Guild Wars 1.
Yeah.
I think the rainbow jellyfish, the black widow spider. I like having that one out because that one's like real big and impressive, and it's not one that everybody has.
The other one I love, there's like a white raven, I believe.
I think the white raven is one of the Hall of Monuments ones, yeah.
And the other one that I liked a lot that I tried hard getting, and I have him, is the Arctodus, which is basically this wolf bear that you can get.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool because I can't tame dinosaurs, but I can tame terror birds, which used to be around but aren't anymore, which are the moas, and then they have this bear wolf, which used to be around too, so it's like a prehistoric mammal thing. And then but my favorite are like the actual birds, like just having like a little raven fly, because it's not very distracting, like having just a bird fly.
It's neat watching them take off and they'll follow you and then they'll land when you stop. I like that.
It's really adorable. I really
the animation's really cool. My favorite, although I don't use it because I don't think it's the most effective, is the Savari plant dog. I forget what the actual name of it is.
Yeah, right.
It's like a plant wolf.
Yeah.
Made out of, it's green and it heals you. Yeah, that's probably my favorite, although I don't use it. But yeah, and the other Hall of Monuments one is the black moa. And because there's a bunch of them that there's a lot of different skins, like there's 2 owls, there's 2 ravens, there's a bunch of moas, and one of them is the black moa, and I love it because he has a black spiked collar on.
Oh, cool.
The one that I wish that they would put in Guild Wars 2, that was my favorite in Guild Wars 1, is the Rainbow Phoenix. But of course that came from Cantha. They introduced, I think they introduced it in Cantha. No, wait, I'm sorry. There's a phoenix. There's a regular phoenix that you could get in Cantha. Like after you beat the final boss, there's like afterwards you would run to the end, and that's where like the credits would scroll and stuff at the end of factions, and there you could tame a phoenix. And then in the Hall of Monuments, there was something you could do. My memory's failing me right now, but there was something you could do to get a rainbow phoenix to show up in your in the Hall of Monuments, and you could go there and tame that. And that was like huge. Like and as you leveled your pets up at Guild Wars 1, they would get bigger. So if you get a level 1 pet, it would be small, and then when you got it to level 20, it would be big. And this rainbow phoenix at level 20, like its wingspan and its tail, this thing was huge. So this thing
Uh,
following you and flapping its wings and following you around was like this big impressive thing to be
wow.
following you around. And oh, I wish we could have that in Guild Wars 2 because that was a really really cool pet. Very
Yeah, because
impressive.
the hunter class has become my favorite in like WoW. Like whenever the heck this expansion event comes out, like next year, when I go back to play it again, is that I really like the hunter one because in that one you can tame almost everything in like WoW. Like almost all of the creatures you can tame,
Hmm.
and there's dinosaurs in WoW. There's a lot of cool dinosaur-like creatures in it, and you can like get an ability called Stampede, which basically sends out like all of your pets to just charge. You're like, dude. So and you can make them all one pet. So you can have like six Triceratopses go charging it or T Rexes charging it. So that's just beyond awesome. But yeah, so I really kind of wish like the Ranger had that because the Ranger has so many other cool things like the Great Sword stuff and the nature magic stuff that they have is really gels with me and
Hmm.
yeah, I just really kind of like that. And although it's kind of disturbing if you're a Charr Ranger and you have a cat pet, that just looks so weird to me. It's
You
just
could have a
like
Charlie Ranger, a cat pet, and then a cat mini pet, and you could just be a little cat family.
I know, yeah, that just like feels so bizarre. But yeah, but that's also like the thing that I always like to do in WoW too is like to like get my like pets up with me so that I have like my actual combat pet and then my little just cosmetic pet running behind me. So you basically have like a little herd following you wherever you're running. Like this is cool. I like this. And then lastly, there's one cool ability that I discovered because I've like never played the hunter before in like WoW before. I always just never got into it. Now suddenly I am. There's this thing called feign death, which would be so cool if like Guild Wars had something like this, which is basically your character just literally he like does the animation of dying, but you don't actually die, and it basically takes off all of the aggro, and so anyone who's fighting you just goes away, but your character goes like ah and like dies, but you're not actually dead. Your energy can slowly come up, and just they just all leave you alone. It's like this is the coolest thing. I can just like make myself do a feint, which is like a killer in PvP, right? Because if you're doing PvP, you can fake out
Yeah.
people you're fighting. Just be like, oh, pretend I'm dead, and like they'll leave you alone, but you're not actually dead. So yeah. We should
Speaking of
probably like finish
PvP,
off features. Yeah, we should finish off the
um,
feature stuff.
I can't
Uh,
talk about this too much because I really don't do PvP in Guild Wars. But there's some exciting things coming for PvP. There's reward tracks so that you can actually like level up and get different rewards. And then they're doing a lot of unification between PvP and PvE, like skin unification where the armor that you wear in one will translate to the other, which is really cool because it's like for me, like I don't do PvP, but when I go into the PvP lobby in order to like get a free waypoint to Lion's Arch, um, your armor changes, and sometimes it's weird to see that, even if it's just for a moment. So now that shouldn't happen. Now whatever armor and weapons you have will just be the same. So, and that's really nice for people with like legendaries. So now I think they can take their legendary skins into
right,
PvP. So that's pretty cool. And then they're combining daily and monthly achievements. Whereas right now you have your monthly, basically your PvP and your PvE achievements, and the same with daily. That's all just going to be one now. And I think
right.
that's great because that is actually, I think that would help people that play either exclusively to maybe try out the other one. Like for me, personally, like sometimes, I love it that they give you, when I go to do my dailies, I love it that they give you like at least 10 to choose from and you only have to do 5. So if there's one, you pick the 5 that are, the way you play. So now you'll have PvP options in there as well. So if there's like only 4 dailies that I want to do, maybe I can go check out a PvP one, and maybe that will get me to check out PvP a little bit. If one of them's easy, like just play 3 matches or something. I don't know. Sorry, PvP people. I don't know PvP terms and achievements, but that's a possibility. Is that maybe it will, and the same for PvP people. Maybe they'll say, oh, just go into PvP or go into PvE and gather 20 bushes or whatever it is, gather a couple things. That's easy, if I don't feel like PvPing tonight, and then that gets them into PvE a little bit. So I think that's great.
Oh yeah, anything that can promote cross filtering is good, I think, in the end.
Anything to bring the player base together a little more.
Because I never really get into PvP much, but when the Halloween stuff was happening with the prince, the PvP bits that you could do, I really got into that. I was playing that a lot. I was playing that for hours.
See, that's cool.
I was surprised at. I was totally getting into it just because of the music and the theme and the look and the fact that you were getting things with each battle, with each match. It was leading to stuff that you could get. So, and yeah, I totally got into it. So that was kind of cool. But and that's the other thing that I do like about Guild Wars 2 is I find their daily, monthly things. It's done really well. I find that I just really enjoyed them. Just doing that. It's very easy to track what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And then it's very easy to see what you have, and then getting those little points that add up to your chests that you can eventually get. It feels like you're actually getting stuff, and it just feels good too. And it's nice, quick little content you can do. Mm-hmm. That doesn't take an hour or anything. It just you can just if you don't feel like doing a lot, you just want to log in for 20 minutes or something. Just let's do some achievements or dailies or monthlies, and then I can fire it off again. And just
like I said, that's become my daily routine. Even if I don't really feel like playing, I'll go in and I'll spend an hour getting my 5 dailies so I can get my laurels and my other rewards, and and it really rewards you for going in and doing that, and so that's. I cannot tell you, though, how many times I have missed getting my monthly by, I mean, this is really sad. I should, do my monthly immediately. I've gotten better, but, 2 or 3 times I have missed my monthly reward by, that much. I had, a couple more things to kill, and I would get my monthly, and I just, I saved it till the last minute, and I forgot about it, and I'm like, you know what, if I would have signed in for 10 more minutes, I would have gotten my monthly, but I didn't. Oh, it's happened to me so many times. It hurts when that happens.
Oh.
I could have so many more laurels right now.
Yeah, I think I've barely got any laurels. I've been very slow at it because I've been kind of waiting to kind of really dive into it when I do hit level cap. It's something that I'll be definitely enjoying is just doing my dailies and monthlies when I get my main character up to 80. Although the living story season 2 will be well into being when I eventually do hit 80 because it takes me so damn long to.
I don't think dailies is something that you can, that you have to wait until you have an 80. You can, I said, I just log in on my highest character who's not 80, and I just have them do the dailies, and that's they don't have to do anything else. They just do that, and I get a bunch of experience and log out.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. It is true.
And if you don't want to do that on your main, if you want to save your mains leveling up for the personal story or something, you hop on one of your alts, and by doing the daily, that gets you experience playing that class. So if one of your alts is a new class that you don't know if you like or not yet, then go on and do the dailies, and you're getting rewards for your account. But you're not going through personal story with a class that you don't know if you like or not. And then if you end up deleting that character, then, all of that progress in your personal story is gone. Whereas if you went on that class, on that character, and just did your dailies, you're practicing with that class and finding out if you like it, but you're getting rewarded for your account. And those are rewards that you're going to keep.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, actually, that I'll probably keep in mind is because my ranger that I've got just at level 11, I think now, is that I could actually just, because I've done the early content up to 30, 40, so many times, I could just really just keep doing my dailies and monthlies. Honestly, like I could even skip doing like a lot of zone exploration for now. I can just keep doing that stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
because like my like main thing I find is that the characters that I do have highest, I don't really like the decisions I've made in the personal story, and I don't like as far as the orders slash things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
on this guy, I want to choose the ones that I do like and that I want to, and I just want to keep him as my main kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I also want to level up my tiny little cute little Asura girl. She's adorable. I've got her with a staff. She's gonna be a staff guardian. And
Staff Guardian's cool.
she's got a little she's got a big ponytail that I bought for her, blue ponytail.
Is it the one with the new one with the not the new one, but one of the new ones?
Yeah,
In the where it has like the I don't even know what to call them, little things over the ears, and then like
Yeah.
a big ponytail in back.
yeah, it does. With like it's like red for those like tassels or whatever, and then she's got her big red ponytail.
Nice, nice. That's the hairstyle
it-
my Asura has right now. Though I'm thinking about changing it
Yeah,
because I love the one of the new ones. I absolutely love.
I think it's Timey has totally made me definitely love them because I've been even considering like making like an Asura male ranger as one of my mains instead of leveling up my Charr ranger because yeah I'm just kind of because like, it's kind of frustrating because like a lot of gear doesn't always look very good on Charr
Oh.
and that's really frustrating, especially medium armor.
Medium
there's not
armor.
a
I'm
lot.
sorry. Medium armor sucks. I have my Norn is my ranger, and I have cultural armor on her because the Norn cultural armor is really cool. But there's not much else that's cool. And then my Asura, who is really close to 80, I think she's like level like 75, and she's my excuse me, she's my thief, and ugh, her armor is just ugh. And I even looked like, okay, once I'm 80, I'll have access to all the armor and I can get whatever I want. And I go to like the wiki and look at all the armor sets for Thief on an Asura, and I'm like, these are all terrible. Like, I hate all of these.
Yeah.
Why can't they make something cool for medium armor? I mean, there's some cool ones in the gem store, but then on my little tiny Asura that I'm barely gonna play once she's 80, like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like I'm not gonna buy something for her, and oh my gosh, she does have my holographic dragon wings on right now, so that's kind of cool. I'm actually thinking of putting the spinal blades on her, make her look bigger, and she's a thief, so maybe not with the stealth aspect, but maybe maybe that'll look cool on her. I haven't decided yet. Once she hits 80, I'll worry about her final look and how how she's gonna look.
Yeah, I'll probably like keep my Charr ranger because must say like the cultural tier 3 for medium for Charr actually isn't that bad. So they've got some cool gauntlets and their pants actually suit their tails because it's like not one of those things, you know. I really hate the look for Charr when they get the long coats because most of them aren't designed for tails. So you have like the tail
It just
chipping and
clips through
sticking
it.
out, clipping
Yeah.
and sticking out like that. I like it when like the ones actually accommodate the tail and actually just have like a little thing over it and then it flows nicely. So Charr tier 3 for that does that, and they also got a really cool headpiece because it looks like kind of scales going down their neck.
Cool.
So and they also have very cool gauntlets, these like massive bone things. So
I love the dungeon armor that makes the Charr tail like a fire tail. It's probably the Citadel of Flames. I think it's Citadel of Flames
really
dungeon armor. It makes the tail's like on fire, and so it's swinging around like on fire. You should look into that.
is it for like any of them or is it just for like medium or?
That I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
But I saw that. I saw that on someone once and went, "How do they have a fire tail? That's the coolest
fire
thing
tail.
ever!"
Yeah, I've
And
got to
someone
check
said
that
it's
out.
dungeon armor. I'm like, wow, that is cool.
Yeah, it would probably definitely be the Citadel of Flame. I gotta check that out again.
Yeah.
Got to see which class and what type it has, and that'll be my main. I want a flaming tail. I want my Charr to have a flaming tail.
Okay, we have one more thing to talk about.
Yep.
And that is the mega server. that they are
Yeah.
implementing.
Omni server.
Yeah, I can understand that this is awesome that they're doing this and that they're implementing this and trying to get people that play similarly, and friends, trying to get them on the same map more often.
Yes.
They're not implementing it throughout the whole entire world yet. They're going to start with low-level zones and towns, and then kind of, as this year goes on, and they, gather information and learn more about it, then they're going to implement it into the rest of the game. But it seems to me, as someone who the majority of the time plays by herself, I don't think we're going to notice that big of a difference. Even people that play together, I know when I'm in a party with people, and if we move zones or move cities, I rarely have to, click to join back up with them. We're usually put in the same server, or the same instance, same map instance.
Right.
But maybe there are places in the game where this is a problem on busier maps, maybe. Or I think hopefully what it's going to help is people who are in the same guild who are on different servers. I think it would be cool if it more often pairs those people up together. And they did say they were going to continue to they're eventually going to kind of merge guilds together, whereas right now if you're in the same guild but on different servers, you're technically in a different instance of that guild or something, like a different copy of it, because the influence you earn by playing the game is different for the different servers. It's not just one giant pile of influence. It separates it. And that's so weird to me. If you're in the same guild, it should go into the same pool of influence. I don't understand that, but they eventually they are going to be implementing that. I don't think that's something that they're doing this feature patch, but they said that they're working on that, and this mega server system is something that this is a start of a lot of things that are going to start merging the game together. So I think that's great. I think that's wonderful that they're doing this.
Yeah, because I play on the European servers on Pike and Square, and I've heard from a lot of people sometimes that there's a lot of language issues. So there's a lot of details that the mega servers are going to be solving.
Yeah, that's something that
will
they
make the
mentioned.
European servers really happy. Yeah, so
right. They're going to start separating people they're going to group people together who speak the same language. Yeah. See, I didn't realize that was a bigger problem over on the EU servers, because I don't think I've ever, maybe only a couple times playing the game I've seen people maybe speaking Spanish or something, but other than that, I've always seen English.
Well, yeah, 'cause I've seen some other language occasionally, but I was talking to one Dutch guy, and he was saying how it can be frustrating that he prefers often playing on North American realms because everybody tends to always definitely speak English, whereas if you stay on the EU ones, then you will run across a lot of guilds sometimes that are just one language, or just have a lot of people that just aren't good or comfortable in English, and they want to speak French or German or Italian, or there's a lot of Scandinavians who play video games. I keep on running across people from Sweden and Norway, and it's wow, it's tons.
Wow. Well, that's great then. That's really great that those people are going to start grouping with each other. That's wonderful.
They can have an all German group, which would sound really cool.
Right, right.
I love German. So.
They are, however, still going to keep North America and Europe separate. You're not, if you're on the European servers, you're not suddenly going to come across people on the North American server. So those are still separate. But within each of those groups, you're going to start being grouped up with the same people. It sounds like they're going Guild Wars 1 route, which was a beautiful system, where everybody who's on gets put on one instance. When that one fills up, it creates another one, and then everybody starts going to that one. And then when that one fills up, everybody starts going to the next one. And it was such a perfect system, and you could freely switch between them. Now, if it was full, it was district, so if you get put into District 2, and you say, no, I want to be on District 1, if it's not full, you can just go and switch and go to District 1. Sometimes you would go to switch and it would say, I'm sorry, this district is full. So you would just wait a couple minutes for someone to leave and then you could hop over. And this was usually only a problem in the 3 major cities. Everywhere else was usually just, not populated enough. And
Right.
it was so cool on Halloween or Winter's Day, like when the finale event was up, there would literally be over 100 districts. That's how many, and then that would show you how many people are on and playing the game right now. And you could switch, you would sign on and it would put you in District 72, and you're going, holy crap, there's usually only 3 districts would be like the max you would ever see on a normal day. And you sign on and you're in District 72 and you go to the list and you're just scrolling forever and you're like, I could go to a District 120. That's how many people are on. It was just cool. It was a cool feeling to know that many people were on and playing the game. And that was just in that one city. There was people all over the game. That was just cool. So I'm hoping that this is what they're going to eventually implement. So that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I mean, so overall, what's your opinion of the feature pack?
Overall, it's amazing, and I cannot wait. It almost makes me not. It almost makes me not want to play the game until this is implemented, because
I know, me too.
It's like I am playing this crappy version of Guild Wars 2 now. I thought that this was awesome, but it's going to get even more awesome. It's going to be like a different game on the 15th.
Especially with the trait improvements, I'm really looking forward to that.
The trait improvements.
And there's probably going to be possibly a minority of people whining and moaning about, like, oh, you're taking all my little points away because I like doing whatever and putting them away. But it reminds me of history repeating when WoW has gone through a similar process of cleaning off the chaff, of having a lot of these points that don't actually mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like having like 7 points in water or whatever, as opposed to and then 10 in fire and, I don't know, 3 in arcane or something. It just doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Make each point actually have some bajumba, and
that's going to
so
be really
I'm
nice.
really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely.
so I'm definitely looking forward to this. And I often love it too, when some people point out the fact that the game's far from perfect, but at the end of the day, we're getting all this stuff, and we're not paying a sub fee for it too. So
right.
That's always the big thing. So it's kind of like, can you complain about free stuff? It's like you're kind of getting this plate of stuff, and you're like saying, I don't like the cilantro, and I don't know what the garlic sauce. And it's like, it's free, and it's like a platter. You're really gonna moan, and why is there's no permanent content? I can't stop teasing people about that.
People will always find something to complain about.
Because it's like free. That's the amazing thing I find. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, we're getting that stuff for free, man. It's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Very impressive, I have to say. Very quality
Absolutely.
game.
This is, I'm looking so forward to this. And the only other thing is that world bosses are going to be on set timers now. I think that's amazing, because there's not going to be any waiting around to shatter her up yet. This is Jormag. When does Jormag spawn? We got what? Sometime in the next hour? Okay, I'll wait. I really want to get him. Okay, I'm going to sit here for 3 hours waiting for Shadow Behemoth to spawn.
Yeah,
no more of that. I'm so happy.
Yeah, because they're saying there's gonna be special things specifically for guilds, for the big ones and stuff.
I didn't really understand that. There's something about guilds can spawn. Guilds can spawn world events somehow. I didn't quite understand that, and they're changing waypoints slightly. I saw people complaining about it, but something about if a waypoint is contestable, then it's always going to be contested if you're not in that map. I didn't quite understand that or the reasoning for that, but I'm sure there's a reason.
Yeah, and of course people always find anything to complain about.
Yes,
But
of course.
there's.
I think it's amazing though. No more waiting. No
Yeah,
more
like,
waiting for world bosses to spawn.
I'm like happy that they're trying to improve and make it a more streamlined process for the world bosses, because like as we were talking about, this game doesn't have traditional raid content, and the world bosses essentially are things
Yeah.
that you farm
Yeah.
that are permanent. If anyone's and but making it more user friendly is a big deal. These are like some people minge about this being these are all just quality of life improvements, but those are still really good
Yeah.
things. And these
Yes,
are
they are.
big quality of life improvements, not
Yeah.
just like small
These are
patch things of like,
game-changing
you know.
quality of
So,
life improvements.
so I'll more than happily do that, because like big feature stuff, we're gonna have to wait for like the actual living story seasons, because that's what Arena has always said, is that they want to bring out like continents and races and stuff during the living story. This is just like a major, like quality of life improvement of season one, and this stuff still technically is a part of season one. So, I mean, like when you take in everything that the living world story has given us, all the gear content improvements and whatnot, and then finally with this feature patch, that's a lot of
It's
stuff.
a heck of a lot of stuff.
And it's all, again, no monthly fee for that. So with like so many AAA MMOs getting monthly fees, it's like, I don't know. Do they not realize there's that game behind your head there exists? It's like, do they not realize that? I just don't get it.
Both of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
So go buy something in the gem store because you're getting all this for free.
And I've bought way too much stuff in the gem store myself. It's too easy to do that, but yeah, I'm curbing it now. But yeah, but and your puppy agrees.
Yes, he does. He said, "Okay, you're done. Take me outside." So
Awesome.
with that, we will end. Thank you for watching. Of course, leave any questions or comments or anything you want.
Ponderings of the mind.
Yes, indeed. And thank you so much to everyone who has watched and everyone who has commented. We've gotten some wonderful, wonderful comments that really make us happy and make us want to keep going and doing this. And there's going to be even more to talk about when the patch actually comes out. We actually have experience with all these updates. And hopefully Season 2 will come very soon.
Soon, yes.
More drama.
The Tengu. Tango and
Season 2,
Mordrama.
the start of Season 2, the wall opens.
That's what I want, like from like the Return of the King, when Mordor gates, something like that, and they can come out riding dinosaurs. I can dream.
All right,
Thanks for
guys.
stopping by, guys.
Yep, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.